So I have tested out the Legion Go for around 1 to 2 weeks at this point. And honestly, there's just one thing that's kind of bugging me about it. Now, with handhelds like the Steam Deck, SteamOS, and Linux are what bugged me about that. The ROG Ally, just the whole thing was pretty much buggy till this day. Now there's a new bug that hasn't gone away in a couple weeks, so I tend to play my Legion Go a lot more. But the Legion Go has its quirks as well, and that is Legion Space. Now that is the main interface, kinda. Whenever Legion Space opens up, the Legion Go kind of freezes up a tiny bit, especially if you have it in power saving. It seems like the power saving option on the Legion Go isn't exactly the most optimized in terms of performance. Now, I might have been getting some of the settings wrong, but when you select power saving on the top, it sort of brings the rest of the performance down, including the OS. So you would need to set the entire system to power saving and then set the OS to performance mode so Legion Space can work a little bit better, which is a little strange because it's the software that's controlling the whole thing. So I would assume naturally it would work a lot better than Windows itself, but sometimes Legion Space opens up and crashes, and I wasn't aware that I was still in power saving mode. So the thing would take like 2 to 3 minutes to start up, which is unacceptable, especially if you're playing on the go, as its name implies, and if you don't figure out to put the thing in performance mode by that time. Instead of waiting for the Legion Go to finally open or get off of its white screen, which by the way is the worst thing for the Legion Go, mainly because it has an 8.8-inch screen, so at nighttime, if you're trying to just start up the system, Legion Space just goes all white and blinds you. As funny as that sounds, it's just unpleasant, and I would prefer not to deal with it. So I switched the whole open Legion Space at startup off because I really don't want anything to do with Legion Space as of right now. Now, don't get me wrong, Legion Space is awesome. It looks incredible, especially on the 1600p screen. It seems like the interface was made for it, but the thing just doesn't work. So instead of waiting for Legion Space to open, I just use Windows instead. Somehow Windows 11 works better than Legion Space. Now, when you have to resort to using Windows over the actual UI of the hardware, you know that's a bad thing. Especially for Windows 11 users, you know exactly how difficult Windows 11 can be, but I have to admit that Microsoft has made a good OS with Windows 11. Even though it has those annoying updates every once in a while, for some reason on the Legion Go, it barely interrupts what I'm doing, and it doesn't ask me as much as the ROG Ally did to update my Windows 11 OS, which is an amazing thing. The Legion Go kind of acts like the Alienware laptop that I had, and it doesn't exactly bother you with all that Windows nonsense. So I am a fan of that. With the ROG Ally, Asus kind of has its pockets deep into Microsoft's you-know-what. So Windows updates are pushed really hard on Asus computers in general. But yeah, Legion Space, not a fan so far. But I am a fan of taking screenshots and using Legion Space's, I guess, command center on the side. I think that's incredible, and also everything else about the Legion Go is incredible to me. I think this is a wonderful handheld, but I just don't like the actual application of Legion Space. I think Legion Go is incredible. I just think Legion Space is not meant for it. But that little side command center, I guess, is a part of Legion Space as well. So I think that part of Legion Space is incredible, but when it first opens up, it's very annoying because it just doesn't work right most of the time. I'd say 80% of the time, Legion Space just doesn't work as an actual application. Now, the same thing happened with Armoury Crate SE. At first, the actual Armoury Crate just didn't want to open or even function, but the command center worked just fine. And unfortunately, it's the same exact thing here with the Legion Go, except now Legion Go's command center works perfectly okay, while the ROG Ally's command center doesn't really work that well anymore. For some reason, it just keeps deleting my stuff even after resetting the application like all the fixes said to do. So unfortunately, I am having a difficult time with Armoury Crate SE right now, and it's been over a year, so that's kind of a letdown. Hopefully they fix it soon. I'll try to update and let you guys know exactly what's going on. But going back into Legion Space, I feel like Lenovo still has a lot of work ahead of them in terms of perfecting and optimizing Legion Space. I think if they had a bit more RAM, this wouldn't happen that often. Because sometimes I put the Legion Go in hibernation mode and then turn it back on and Legion Space has to boot up again. While that's happening, I'm playing a game, so some of that VRAM, I assume, is automatically allocated to the game. So Legion Space just doesn't work at all, or it just doesn't want to open. So if I want to go into the controller settings, I won't be able to do that because I'm playing a game that's highly demanding, especially if I'm in power saver mode. There's no way in hell I'm going to open Legion Space if I'm in power saver mode. If you're in power saver mode, just forget Legion Space ever existed and just open that side command if you can. Because every part of Legion Space for some reason freezes up whenever you're playing a game in power saver mode. When you're not playing a game and you're in power saver mode, it works just fine, but I'm assuming it goes into some kind of power saver state whenever you're just on the OS. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Legion Space. I'm personally not a fan. I think it's very slow, especially when you play a game. But I can tell that Lenovo knew that would happen, so they made the command center pretty much exactly like the actual Legion Space application, just turned into a pop-up on the screen whenever you want it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Later.